Sure.
You just don't know it.
I don't know what all the names are.
Come on, man.
I was trying to get my own knack for this game. I still kind of have it,
Fuck.
at least in a pick. You gotta be ready to ball jump out.
Oh well, one energy tank's good enough.
They let you shoot down in future Metroids.
You know what? I was saying that too. In there were certain sections where like, Jesus, oh, you really wish you could just shoot down.
Your wish is my command.
Well, yeah, that's an example of something when, you know, players wish for something that it's actually better for the game to include it. Whoa, that was close. Hang on. Don't want to let that go away.
I think when they try to use super desperate.
Hang on, I got another grind spot.
Oh, so what I was saying, I started taking notes in my notebook for an article about cancels, right?
Right.
And I've noticed that for some of the cancels that I'm the most experienced with,
They're also the ones you don't like.
for all the stuff that they do to speed up gameplay and like, you know, give people more buttons to press, when you get to the highest levels of play, you stop canceling. That's what Guacamelee. It's not like that in Smash because you need an L cancel, and that's just ubiquitous. But there's a lot of other cancels. Like L cancel halves the lag, so it's like not as strong as the cancel case as we're talking about for all this other stuff. Where in Guacamelee you go directly into move into a jump into an air parry, and you can cancel an air parry into a jump and the jump to a kick and the kick into a special again. Just like blah, 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 blah. And like every single move in Slash Dash can be canceled almost upward into a chain. You can cancel kunai into sword and sword into teleport, and those are all your mechanics really. So like, oh, you can move into kunai into sword and sword and teleport. It's pretty much like a chain of cancels, right? Street Fighter games are generally balanced around this idea of you go low to high. So maybe I'll draw a comparison to that kind of idea where like you start with some mechanics and you go from low risk to or high risk to low risk or whatever. But that's not how these games are made. You're kind of like canceling the game when you hit so many buttons like that. But also this tied in with this idea that you can play faster than you can play, or you can push buttons faster than you can play. So you probably balance your game out to where players can't do too much beyond what is like physically possible.
I know that definitely happens with people in Smash whenever they try to play as Fox.
Yeah, you can tell even some of the flashiest players, if you look at how they play and what they run into, you can tell that they're not conscious of the changes their opponent is doing and like what's happening in the current situation. So you can like see them not thinking. You're like, yeah, they're hitting buttons, but is it worth it? Like you're running into the obvious stuff. If you just start walking, Fox is still really fast walking. Let's get this straight.
Yeah.
Too fast.
Yeah, they're moving around so fast that they can only like just make blind guesses and just like whip out attacks in midair and stuff.
That's why Mango, Mewtwo King, and Dr. Peepee just run all over the majority of Melee players.
How?
Because they have just as much tech skill for the most part, but they are more precise, and they calm down when they need to, and they know how to whip punish. And whip punishing is where you literally like react to what your opponent does and like get the maximum punishment out of it because you just understand the game so well. And then after they start breaking your whole game down with whip punishing and get you on the defensive, then they do the most simple stuff that's low risk, high reward for them. Like you could, I wish I could have time to diagram the mindset of these players as exhibited through their playstyle. You can look at when Mewtwo King throws in jabs, or not jabs, grabs. And like sometimes you're like, that whiffs completely, but he's like, who cares? He's gonna get enough of those because he's really breaking down your game. But even if you punish him off this whiff
Oh,
grab,
shit.
you're still. Oh, here's a double, but you just need to run. Freeze that guy and run. You don't need to kill everything. Oh, nice. Yeah, this game's cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty used to that part actually. Well, even though I've only been through it like twice, but yeah.
Yeah, so like, and you can just tell that they're playing a different kind of game. I do the same thing when I play people in Melee, and they do anything, and I just whip, punish, grab them with Kirby, and they're like, oh, I got grabbed. Then they do anything, and I whip, punish, grab, like tilts, jabs, whatever. I'm like, I'm playing at the maximum level of efficiency I can at a certain way to punish all the things you thought you could get away with, but you can't. Like, I dash away, dash back, grab, and they're like, what the? I'm like, yeah, I'm grabbing your extended limbs, because you shouldn't tilt unless you don't tilt to kill me, then you shouldn't be tilting, or whatever they say. Enemy. That tilt to kill. And I think a lot of people play games. Well, I think a lot of people that even play Melee competitively don't really understand what it's like to play a fighting game and to really squeeze out every frame like that and how that shapes how you think and play, because they're just losing. So too bad for them.
Well,
and I think you design action games, a lot of multiplayer games and indie games don't understand like how precisely you design the mechanics to prevent people from making an overly defensive game or like prioritizing defensive play too much. And I think Samurai Gun did a good job of it for the most part. They have this mechanic where if you clash with your swords, whoever struck first gets the advantage. So it encourages people not to turtle, but to like actually get into range and actually swing the sword for a kill. Pretty good. You need stuff like that. And that's like a frame difference in a game that runs in 40 frames per second.
you know what these things are called? These
No.
Ripper 2.
Ripper 2?
Yeah.
The one you just wrote?
Yeah. So there are Rippers, and then there are Ripper 2. Like literally the same enemy, but they just put in a number to distinguish it.
That's how you categorize alien life, by the way.
Really? Huh. I didn't. Well, I learned something if that's true. Whoa, that was weird.
Two huge slabs.
This is crazy. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Hang on, I can do that better.
You know why? Because I didn't know what I was doing. Let's see, pressure. I'll just use some syrup.
Oh no.
Shut up. No!
Whoops. Wow, this guy takes a lot of morphball bombs.
I think the people who really focus and are particular about game feel know not to put all these cancels into their game. You look at Samurai Gun and Hyper Light Drifter, Rogue Life really likes focusing on game feel, which is pretty much making his game look and play as coolly as he imagines things to be in his head, right? Fully coolly. So, why would he put a thing in this game to cancel those cool animations he's working on?
Oh, fuck that guy.
Bleeding your life dry.
Freeze him and move!
Yeah, I got him. Yeah, you did.
How can when you decide to use your missile, you're like, F this. You know what'd be cool?
What?
I thought of a cool idea for a Metroid game. You can milk these guys.
Yeah, I know. I just paused. I just paused the game so I could, hear you talk.
Cool idea for a Metroid game is one that's really brutal like this. You're supposed to go on these little stints, these little missions that are like, I guess, an hour long each, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a limited amount of missiles, period. No refills.
That's interesting. So, like, what, a mission-based Metroid instead of...
Just an idea. The idea of like, instead of like, oh, I'll get refills at the next health station, or I'll kill enemies, like you don't get to.
Wow, that's how fast these guys are. Don't joke with them. So yeah, right now I just want to sort of test them out. Alright, hang on, I gotta pause and like think what I'm gonna do. So I already know, here's what's going on in my head. I already know there's 2 pipes, that means there's gonna be 2 gamuts coming out. They kind of act like Commando Man's missiles, but instead of going horizontal, tracking you horizontally, then dropping down, they go vertically and then move horizontally, or they track you vertically and then move at you horizontally. So what you usually do is what I'm thinking is, if I can bait, I freeze this first one, I bait out the second one by jumping so he goes higher than
This time.
yeah. So he goes up to like the top of the room, and by the time I fall down, he's like way above me, and that takes him a long time to get off the screen. It's the stupid enemy that comes after him, because there's 2 of those purple jackasses that I have to kill. I can probably get them both with just 1 missile shot, and you know what? I got missiles to spare. I got like 27 of them, so I'm thinking, okay, jump and bait him. I feel like I'm gonna have to pause the game in order to like cheat it a bit in order to really kill those guys.
Let's spawn. Unpause it and back up so the second guy doesn't spawn, and then take your time.
So unpause it.
Yeah, you mentioned the word Commando Man.
So yeah, oh my god, am I really good? I'm gonna really cheat by doing this. Ah, fucker.
Freeze and move.
Oh, I shot him twice.
That's kind of a cool shot. That's actually a really cool mechanic.
Wow, how am I dodging all this shit? For real.
Just go with it. The mechanic where you freeze enemies, but if you panic and rapid fire, you'll unfreeze them with every other shot.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You're a dead man. I like
So
that.
somehow I managed to get through that running like a maniac.